connect to Jesus Ensilada. He's doing actually indigenous education, and I think you are trying to really enhance the capabilities of indigenous people, and that's what he's doing, but for the educational part, like at school. So I think there might be actually some synergy you may use what about his work and about your work. I will try to connect you, and actually I'm doing a project with him beside of these initiatives here, so maybe we will meet each other soon and talk about other things. So thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
And hope to see you soon. And I switch over to Micaela. I hope I spell it right, your name.
Yes, you did. Hi,
Micaela,
how are you?
Well, welcome on stage. Thank you. I'm fine. How about you? How are you?
I'm great. Yeah,
Very good.
I'm here in sunny California. So yeah, I'm ready and excited for this.
Thank you very much for joining us. And actually you have about 20 minutes time, maybe a bit less, to share your passion, to share your way to the person you are now, to share your future, to share things that might be relevant to teenager who wants to become like you, or as you did, who wants to make the world a better place. The stage is yours.
Thank you. So again, welcome to everyone who's here. I know I'm the closing wisdom individual that's going to be sharing some insight with you. Like I said, I'm based in San Diego, California. Recently moved here not too long ago, and I'm happy to share my story. So my name is Micaela. My session today is entitled, "It's Not Where You Start, It's Where You Finish." So basically, my story begins in Columbus, Ohio. That's where I'm originally born and raised, from great old Midwest in USA. I come from very humble beginnings. My great grandparents were slaves. My great grandparents had very humble beginnings. My grandparents, had humble beginnings, and my parents the same thing, and me. So basically, my story starts there. Didn't have much growing up. We pulled ourselves up by our bootstraps. I always kind of felt like I didn't really belong in Ohio, and then I knew I was going to do something greater with my life and just kind of like my purpose and passion. I always felt connected to the greater world around me. I wanted to explore, wanted to travel, was always a very curious child. I love to play outside. I love to make new friends. I love to dance and act and sing. I love volunteering with my family, whether it was, helping people at a local homeless shelter or, feeding the homeless, or we were really also involved in a local community with like outreach for political campaigns. I just always have like a very busy, energized spirit, always kind of buzzing around in my community, easily making new friends, easily trying to do things all the time. Like I said, we had some setbacks within our family that always had me grounded. So, that also included the things I talked about some of my ancestors being slaves. But besides that, we were fighting outside forces of generational curses. So in my family, I will transparently admit, we've had generational curses of alcoholism, physical and emotional abuse, as well as drug abuse. So, all these things always kind of around me, always kind of aware of, but I knew that I had something greater calling on my life. So with all the things that I was involved in, all the activities that I participated in, although I did all those things, I also was facing personal issues. So when I grew up, I had like really big, crazy hair. I was really skinny. I was awkward. I was always insecure. I didn't have a lot of friends, and due to those things, plus the other things I mentioned, I was bullied and teased and made fun of. So a true ugly duckling story in every way and fashion. And, I struggled a lot, and it was hard. But fast forward to high school, out of all those things that I dealt with, and I had an amazing guidance counselor that really believed in me. And all 4 years that I was in high school, she just always encouraged me to go after my dreams, to not let any of the setbacks that I was dealing with, whether it was personal family things or, you know, other kids at school that were doing things to me, she never let me feel like that was the barrier and like everything was kind of, you know, where I came from, that was going to be it. And I was only going to stay in Ohio and deal with those things. So long story short, she helped me kind of put together like a list of things that I wanted to do and my future and kind of where I saw myself, if I wanted to go to college, things like that. I told her I did. She helped me kind of outline a couple of schools in Columbus, Ohio that I wanted to go to. I didn't feel like I was ready to move quite yet out of Ohio, but eventually I would, so I'll get to that part later. So basically applied to 2 schools in Ohio, Otterbein University and Ohio State University. I got into both, got also practically full rides to both, about like 75, 85% scholarships and aid. I decided to go to Otterbein University, which is a small liberal arts college in Columbus, Ohio. And I studied originally, my major was broadcasting, and I did that major for about a year. College was really great, especially for someone young and ambitious like me who had a lot of energy. Like I said, I did all these great things growing up, you know, even though I had all these setbacks. So I really enjoyed the college experience my first year, but I didn't quite like broadcasting. It didn't really just feel like it fit with my spirit. So I kind of was just like, okay, like universe, okay, God, like, what am I supposed to do? I want to change the world. I want to do all these great things. Like I'm in college, my whole life's ahead of me. How do I kind of get to where I want to be? Because I'm feeling like broadcasting isn't it. So I actually surrendered this, gave it to the universe, and basically I had this dream. So this is kind of where my story changes and kind of helps me to get to the point of where I am now. So the dream that I had, I was literally asleep and I felt myself in the middle of space and there were stars all around me. I could see the planets in the Milky Way and I saw the Earth like in front of me and it was rotating on its axis. And I was standing on the hand of God and I never saw his face, but I heard his voice and he said, it's not about you, it's about the world. And literally, I've told people that story many times. When I tell them, they're like, oh my gosh, I get chills. Like, that just seems so crazy. And I tell them, like, I know all the time. Like, it's insane. This dream I had, I will never forget it. I wrote it down. I still look back in my journal about the dream. But literally, that dream made me change my major because I knew that I wanted to do something, you know, based in international relations and diplomacy. And I wanted to travel around the world. I wanted to do all these great things that I never had the opportunity to do when I was younger. So I changed my major to international studies, all these cool classes about like history, and I took Spanish, and I took political economy classes, economics classes. I got involved even more with things on campus. I put myself out there. I became leaders of organizations. I just really connected with people. I started public speaking. Never had done that before. Again, like I said, small town girl, not much going on. And I just went out there boldly after this dream that I felt like the universe was putting on my life. And basically, I finally got to study abroad like I wanted to, and I wanted to travel. I was given the opportunity to travel. A friend at school actually encouraged me to study abroad. So I went to Dominican Republic. I think I was just 19. For the first time I ever studied abroad, again, after changing my major. And it was the most exciting and scary and like wonderful experience all at the same time. Basically, you know, I got everything in order and packed up. I went there and I studied there for a whole semester. And I studied international studies and international development. And I did an exchange with the university there. Again, my first time ever doing this. And it was quite exciting being on the plane and like going there and getting settled and meeting all these cool students from all over the US and then the Dominican students that were there. And honestly, it changed my life. I traveled all over the country. Met awesome people. I met strangers from all over the world, to the beach every weekend. I went whitewater rafting, I went hiking, I like swam in caves. I mean, I did a lot. Like even talking about it right now, it just excites me because it was an incredible experience and it absolutely changed my life to the point where I actually thought I was going to move to Dominican Republic even after my study abroad experience. But yeah, like in every way, it just was incredible. And I came back to the US, you know, went back to college, you know, finished out the rest of that year. And then every year that I was in school, I just would jump into new opportunities, new things. I did an exchange in Washington, D.C., and I interned for the late Senator Ted Kennedy. I was the last intern class before he died. And he actually died a week and a half after my last day interning there. I also interned in the Ohio House of Representatives. Like I said, led a lot of organizations on campus. Like I literally just jumped in college and did everything that I wanted to do and that I felt like was a calling of my life. And honestly, it was the best experience of my life. I absolutely loved college and I'm glad that I had that gumption and kind of spirit in me to just try everything. And after college, I had a couple different opportunities to go abroad or to stay in the US. And I chose to stay in the US and I worked in Ohio for a member of the Ohio House of Representatives that I actually interned for. Had a great experience there. And then I moved to DC and, you know, kind of felt that calling on my life. I was like, I know I'm not going to stay in Ohio forever. So I moved to DC. I lived and worked there for almost a decade in many different capacities. I worked for the US House of Representatives, for a member of Congress. I've worked for the Brookings Institution. And most recently, last year, I worked as the in-country director for South Africa for a private education company. And, you know, I just feel really fortunate that I just stepped out on faith and just went for it, especially when, you know, there were so many things I didn't have the opportunity to do when I was, you know, younger. But I would definitely say the summary of my story to where I am now is it's not where you start, it's where you finish. And I'm still not finished with my journey. Like, you know, I knew where I came from. I knew all the things that I had seen, all the adversity that I lived through and also that I overcame. But it's all in how you think, your mind, it's all in your heart, how you feel. And it's also in terms of like where you see yourself in the future, where you see yourself going and how you feel like you're going to impact the world. And the wisdom that I share with a lot of young students from, you know, different places in the US to around the world and different opportunities that I've had is that it's so important to trust your instincts, trust your spirit, trust your energy. Go out there, try new things, don't live in fear, live in faith. Faith and fear are enemies. And, you know, it's so important to overcome every obstacle in your life, whether you're bullied, whether you don't have a lot of resources, whether you feel like you can't do it because no one else around you has ever done it. You know, my parents had never studied abroad. My parents didn't have a college degree. I'm the first one in my family to have a college degree and a master's degree. My master's from Georgetown while I was in DC. Like, I just want to encourage everyone who's here, and that's why, you know, my theme is not where you start, it's where you finish. Your journey and where you go in life, it's up to you to do that. So anything that's on your heart, any dreams that you have for a business, any ideas you have to start something, or you want to move to a different country, if you want to make new friends here, you want to connect with someone that you've met at an event, or you've looked up someone online, like just go in boldness and have the faith in yourself that you can do absolutely anything and everything you put your mind to.
Wow, thank you very much for your very, very energetic and engaging presentation. And it's not where you start, but where you end. And I'm very much sure that you are not ending now, but you are just going on with your energy until the age of 125 years, because we are supposed to get so old. But actually here we are ending for today, and we are ending with the very good presentation. Thank you very much. I hope there are some, I'm sure there are some questions. Giordano is already ready for asking his question. Giordano, the stage is yours. You have any questions to Micaela?
Yes. Throughout your life, how did you manage to do everything you did? you know, to organize your mind with with the things that you were doing.
Yeah, so that's a question I get a lot when I give speeches to youth and young professionals. It's like, how do you get to the next step and how do you accomplish whatever that you want to accomplish? So actually, I journal a lot. I'm going to show you just, I have so many notebooks. I have actually two nearby. So this is one notebook that I have, and I have it tabbed, and I have different sections. I'm always writing down stuff. I don't know if you can see some of it. But I actually would say if you can start with writing down your dreams and be very intentional about it. So I actually write letters to the universe and letters to God and letters to my ancestors about any idea I have, any dream, whether it's been like a business opportunity or speaking opportunity. I would say number one, the thing that I tell people is get a notebook. Like I said, I have two right here, and write everything down. So write down what it is that you want to do, write down what it is you want to accomplish, write down kind of where you see yourself, put a bucket list. I have a bucket list, then I have another list of like dreams and goals in my professional life. I have a list of, you know, personal goals. Then I would say read lots of books, textbooks, inspirational books, books about life, books about other people's journeys, nonfiction, fiction. Realize, okay, like this person overcame this, and this person's giving me advice on this particular area. The third thing I always tell people is to do research. So if you wrote down something in your notebook, you read a book about it, but then you want to see, okay, so how do I, get into college? How do I start my business? How do I study abroad? The internet is an amazing, amazing thing, okay? So if you have that list in your notebook, then you read a book and then you want to do research, start another page in your notebook and write down the research. So I have literally like sheets of paper, I have binders, I have folders with all of these notes that I've taken for my research. So whether it was like working for the US government or going to grad school, I have loads and loads of papers of research
Me
and
too.
notes, and I save them so I can check it off. You do too?
Yes, from 2 years ago, like this big.
That's a great way to like visualize. I'm all about visualization. So the fourth thing I would say is after you have a notebook and write all your dreams down, after you've read lots of books, after you've done research, number 4 is create a vision board. I have created vision boards and dream boards through the years, and it's crazy. I save them because now I can look back and I can see where I've checked off different things that I've done. So see, when you write things down, you can visually see it, and visualization is key to success. So I would say if you do that, and then if you have it visually represented somewhere, and then you hang it up in your room, like you'll look at it every day when you wake up, every day when you go to sleep, and you can't not but accomplish it because you see it there in front of you. But just take your time. Nothing happens over, night. Everything happens slowly and surely, right? And we never get anywhere alone. So I would say the other thing is find a mentor, find someone to help you, whether that's a relative, whether it's a professional that you look up to, send them a message on LinkedIn or send them an email. So those are my 5 steps. Any other questions?
Yeah. What is one, if you had to choose, what is one book that we have to read?
That's a good question. So I would say, well, there's so many good books out there. I would say The 5 Habits of Highly Successful People. That's a good book. And also The 4 Agreements. That's a good book. I mean, they're more kind of like professional based. So that kind of, I mean, what we're kind of talking about with your professional kind of, future and dreams that you have, I would say those are 2 books, The 4 Agreements and The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Now, if you are, I mean, I do feel like we're all living spiritual human beings. It doesn't matter if you believe in God or if you believe in, another type of religion. We are spiritual beings, right? We need to be connected to something greater. So I would also say there are a lot of books related to spirituality and finding your purpose, and the purpose-driven life really changed my life, because we all have a reason that we're here, and we're all trying to find the way to fulfill the dream that we have to be here. So I would say a third book for more of the spiritual side and fulfilling your purpose is The Purpose-Driven Life.
Well, maybe you just type the titles of the books in the chat, so so we can exceed and we can was it an answer to your question already, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, actually, I think, you know, I wanted just to come back to Giordano, what he said before. You know, he's 13 years old, and did you see the pile of notes he has written already? I think you still have time, and until you reach the age of Micaela, and then you may have libraries of notes. I think you're on the same way. And one other point, you know, she mentioned 4 points to do for your whatever, for achieving your goals. And then point number 5, you just simply ask Micaela. You know, she's here now, or you have her contact over LinkedIn. I think this may also be an important source. Maybe you discuss about your notes, maybe you talk to her about your plans, your wishes, your dreams, or your personal bucket list, or the problems you have. I hope maybe she has time for you, 15 minutes maybe, or whatever we discussed about this point. I think this may be a good way, and maybe not only for you. So Micaela, I think you will be much more busy than you were till now. If you will have all the notebooks of all the young people you inspire to write down everything, their wishes, their hopes, their bucket list, their whatever. So I think it's going to be quite an intense time ahead for you. Thank you very much for your presentation. Thank you very much for being with us. And yeah, we'll keep in touch. The session is over, so the end is now for this session. We will be online again in 1 month with 32 speakers again from around the world. We have actually 4 sessions. One is in the morning, European time, it's 9 o'clock. One is in the evening, like the session you're in now. 4 sessions every end of the month. And feel free, if you have someone who would like to present, like you did, if you have some friends, feel free to connect us, and we can put them on the speaker list. But also, if you have some teenager, I'm not talking, maybe you have kids or cousins or whatever, feel free to connect them and to talk about our initiative, and to let them know what we are doing, and let them participate, and let them accelerate their wisdom. Thank you very much for being with us, and have a good morning, afternoon, evening. You're in, actually, where are you? In US, so I think it's afternoon there.
Micaela.
Yes.
I just wanted to.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. My internet connection is quite slow. I just want to say thank you for your advices. As you may saw, my connection fell down. So I just wanted to say thank you.
No problem. And I'm gonna put in the chat, if you want to connect with me via email or LinkedIn. I actually mentor a lot of students and a lot of youth, so I'm always here. Like I said, point number 5, it's always good to find someone that you look up to that can help you get where you go. No one gets anywhere alone. Everyone always has someone else helping them. So just remember that. And I'm here, so I'll put some stuff in the chat. Thanks for your time, everyone.
Thank you very much for your. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Just type the title of your books on the chat, so we can just promote it and give it to other ones. Well, I think we are at the end of the session here. I think we may stop recording. Marcelo, if you can do that, please. Thank you very much. Because we were live on YouTube till, no, sorry, on